Blessings. Blessings, dear relations in YouTube land. I'm so grateful. So grateful for this dear community. And as always, I'm logging on with you first. And here in just a few moments, I'll be logging on Instagram and on Facebook. And I know Instagram Live only goes for an hour. And today is a very, very special show for Lightworkers. Once a month, I usually do my Q&A, which is open to just any sort of question you have. And today it's specifically for light workers and the information we have to share with one another, the downloads we're getting, questions we might have about what's going on here on a spiritual level and how we can help each other, how we can understand and process this together. Pardon me 1 second. I was just called to get the angel cards, all the same. So let's go ahead and we're going to see. Okay, beautiful. Blessings. Here we go. Instagram Live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. Blessings and welcome, everyone. What a powerful time. Again, I know I said this last week, but what a powerful time to be here, to be together, to gather in community, and to be in consideration, in deep consideration of this process we are all going through together at this time on a global level. This process is so profound. It is so deep. And it's really calling for us to master up, if you will. It's calling for us to master up and to be those parts of ourselves that we know we intrinsically are. It's calling for us to begin this process of being a light body, of knowing that we are more than just a physical body, and really creating the correct conditions for that light to come into us and channel through us. Thank you for hopping on Instagram and saying hello. And thank you everyone in YouTube land. And thank you everyone in Facebook world. It feels like there are three different landscapes. So thank you everyone who is guided to be here. And I'm going to just wait for a few more people to hop on. But if in the meantime you are feeling called to be a light worker, to embody the light, and to understand what that means. Today, our gathering is here for all of the light workers. Blessings. Thank you for saying hi on YouTube. It's for all the light workers where we're kind of sitting here going like, okay, maybe you're getting some downloads about some information, some pieces of the puzzle. Maybe you have questions. Maybe you're not sure if you're a light worker. Maybe you want to be a light worker. Maybe you're saying, okay, I feel the light or I have a Reiki level 1. What do I do? How do I work with the tools that I have? And just as a reminder, last week I did a show, it's up at the YouTube for, it was spiritual tools for empaths and sensitives. And there were some really powerful energy tools, which I'm happy to share again here today as requested. But really today's show is a platform, right? We know I can talk and talk and talk. But I want to invite you into the conversation here today, dear light workers, dear family. And there's so many streams. There's so many narratives, there's so many timelines going on right now in the collective field of what's happening. And maybe it's all happening. Maybe it's all true. Maybe, maybe none of it's true. And this is a time where we get to choose for ourselves what we would have to be the truth. It is also a time of releasing that which we know is no longer. 2 or 3 weeks ago, whatever that life was that we were living before, a month ago, 2-3 weeks ago, it's never going to be the same. And we get to allow ourselves to be in communion with that. So again, thank you everyone. Thank you for saying hi on Instagram. I'm so grateful for all of these platforms, for all of these blessed communities. I'm so very grateful. My name is Tuesday May Thomas, and this is 4D Trinity, where we bridge the mind, the body, the emotions with the eternal all that I am, that is all of love and light in this universe and beyond it, that being love. Thank you for saying hi. So today's show is all about, us all coming together. What downloads are you getting about what is important at this time? Or maybe what have you heard from other teachers or facilitators at this time that you think is important to bring to the forefront of the community? Right? What is it? So please comment, request to be in this live video with me. I've actually never done that, but we can do it. So what are you getting, or what are your fears, right? What do you feel you have a question about that you can propose to the community? And through our comments and through our offerings, we can help support your path at this time, our communal path. Because again, there is just so very much. There is so very much happening at this time. Yet there is this stillness, right? This invitation to just do nothing in a way, and to just be. And that in itself is very, very, very powerful. So I'm going to be just checking in here. Thank you for saying hi, Charles. Blessings. Thank you for saying hi on Facebook, and everyone else here. And so this is the day, this is the time. I mean, it's always time, right, for questions and answers and for sharing of information. I do want to say that this Sunday, I'm going to have, thank you, I see some questions. So let me just make this a little announcement and we'll get into them. This Sunday, I'm going to be on Instagram Live with dear Diane. Oh my God, I'm so excited for this. Intuitivelife.spirit. She is a phenomenal speaker. She's a Holy Fire Reiki master, facilitator with years of wisdom and inspiring information. So I'm excited to be with her at her page this Sunday, April 5th, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So check that out this Sunday. I will be posting about it. And next Thursday, on here on 4D Trinity, I'm going to have as a guest Dave from The Organized Earth. We're going to talk about organite. We're going to talk about 5G and these new radiation frequencies that are coming in and how they are affecting our health. So please stay tuned for that, and I will be posting on that. So 4D Fighting Arts, those that have a lot of downtime, how are you using it to elevate yourself? This is a great question. Blessings, Deandra. I'm so glad you're here. This is a great question. How are we using it? I'm looking forward to it too, to the Sunday's show. But how are we using this downtime? Last night I posted a post about us, really mastering up and being mindful with our addictions, being mindful with the patterns that drive us, in the sense of, whether it's alcohol, whether it's weed, whether it's food, or whatever it is. Like, what are we, because of this sort of like shelter in place thing, are we allowing that to get us down? Are we not meditating? I know for a lot of us, just the idea of time and of days of the week has gotten really muddled. And we're kind of like, what day is it anyway? What's going on? And a lot of the community that I've spoken to are daily, like you get up, you do this, you meditate, you do that, you do your yoga. Like, it's all kind of gone askew and shifted. But are you still showing up? And that's the main thing, because what I'm getting about what's going on right now is there is massive light activation happening for those that would have it, for the community, for those of us that would receive it. Yet the correct conditions get to be made in our body-mind continuum so that we can receive it. We get to be in the light and ground the light into us and through us so that we can channel that light and see with that light sight activated through the heart and through the third eye. And I have more to share on that, but let me see, there's a question or an offering here on YouTube. Venus in First says, as above, as below. Astrology has been pointing at this for years. This is the beginning of the age of Aquarius. We need the underwear with the days of the weeks on them. Okay. We need the underwear. Well, that's just assuming that everyone's changing their underwear every day, right? Then that might work if we all started in the same way as that. But yes, astrologically, and Venus in the First, I would love more offerings from you, because I know we've talked about the intense astrological aspects, and I've actually I would love for you to expand on that a little bit, if you don't mind. So Deandra, I'm gaining more clarity on emotional patterns, not sure what to do about them, just having awareness. Emotional patterns, and this is the time for it, isn't it, Deandra? It's like we are coming up and coming into this subconscious level of our being, manifesting and coming up so that we can see what has been hidden. If you watch some of the shows, what is time? Reiki Energy says, right? If you watch some of the shows from these last couple weeks on YouTube, Deandra, and for anyone else who's guided, there's this massive sense that, and what I was getting the download of is that there's this uprooting of everything that's been held in the root chakra, in correspondence and alignment with this activation of the crown chakra. Now, if you watch media constantly, there's like this impending doom against the crown, against the corona, against the crown. Yet, and that can feed the subconscious. Bottom line, there's a lot of fear that's being purged. And any of us that are attuned with Reiki, those attunements are going to be reactivated. So emotional patterns and recognizing them is a very powerful thing to do. And so just being in awareness, right, is the first level, right? Just being aware of what's happening, not numbing out, paying attention, because each individual aspect that we are is so important as a dot of light that helps to connect a new matrix of light, if you will. And so those old things, those old patterns, those old aspects will be coming up for us. And so Deandra, thank you for that. You're just sitting in awareness of them, right? And that's a big deal. That's a big, big thing, to just do that, to just be in awareness of them and to sit with them, because some of this stuff is not comfortable, right? These old issues, these old timelines, these old unhealed parts of ourselves, they may not be comfortable. And we perhaps, and I'm not saying you, but I mean all of us, we have stuff that's hidden, old things that have happened to us in the past that no longer exists, yet it does exist, and history will continue to repeat itself as long as we do not heal those grievances. So again, on my YouTube last week or so, there is a full meditation on healing grievances, and it's a shamanic journey where we go into the Akashik and we go into the root chakra. So if you are guided to help heal that stuff, I recommend that for you. Lots of root chakra stuff. Yeah, Reiki, the energy, the root and crown are partners. Absolutely. Absolutely, they are. They're working in tandem with each other. And there is this sense that in order for that crown, in order for us to be crowned, to receive the crown, right, that the natural alignment of that happening, that purge from that root chakra gets to be whole and complete. That purge gets to be activated and to be acknowledged. So if there's old memories and patterns that are not healed within ourselves, and especially at this time when this huge vortex is open, where everything is just being turned inside out, we're going to keep repeating that. We're going to have the same experience of that same matrix, if you will. And this is the time, this grid matrix that we have been living in, it's coming unraveled. All of the stories, all of the information. Now, I don't know where you get your information. I get it from everywhere. I don't vote, but I follow Trump supporters. I follow atheists. I follow born again Christians. I follow the Jesus stations. I follow the metaphysicians, the spiritualists. I follow everyone, because I feel that it's interesting to get an insight as to what the collective temperature it is, if you will. What are the collective narratives that are happening and threading through, either on a very outspoken, accessible level of the media, and or of those levels that are hidden, that are more underground. Some people might call them the tinfoil hat people or the conspiracy theorists. But I dive into all of it, because for those individuals, this is real. Those aspects are real. And to the degree that they resonate with you or with me, that we take them on, they become real. And the point is, what are we going to create as light workers, as light beings? What are we intending to manifest now? There is no future, right? And we're realizing that the past, this whatever 2 weeks ago or 2 months ago or 2 weeks ago, will never happen again. It's definitely, 4D Fighting Art says, it's definitely forcing people to slow down and spend a lot of time with themselves. It's important to not become overwhelmed by fear and start focusing beyond the chaos. Yes, absolutely. Focusing on the chaos. And that's just it. That's just it. Because There's so much distraction. If you watch the news and the TV, the regular TV, I don't have a TV, right? But we know on the YouTube or on whatever, you can watch the little blips of NBC Today or Trump's talk, or, whatever all that stuff is. So you can dive in as you want. But I go and I spend time with grandma, and she's got the news on. And, it's just this constant of how many people are dying, and this coronavirus and all over the world, and lockdown. And we know that there's more and more. I think what's happening as well is that we are aware that this shit is getting real, and that more and more of our freedoms are being taken away. And now, depending on where you stand with it, you're like, this is a good thing, so that we can take care and make sure less people become affected and infected. And of course, there's a third dimensional aspect to that. Yet to what degree, do we go with that? I heard stories months ago in China where they were doing free food delivery to individuals because they were in the lockdown. And some people just would prefer to starve and not even open their door for fear that that virus would just get in the house. So to what degree are you taking this? And I understand with certain people, we have different immunity levels, or or something going on where we know we're going to wear that mask, or we're going to wear those gloves, and to each their own, to each their own. Yet how great is the value of fear that we attach to that conscious action? And that's really important to keep us rooted in the love. So you do what you need to do. We all are going to do what we need to do that feels authentic and integral to our part to play now. Yet, like 40 Fighting Arts is saying, like we get to stay in the love channel. And so what are those things that you're doing to help create that? And I know that on one level, we can go into our addictive patterns or our habits and these things, we, like you're saying, 4D Fighting Arts, when's the last time you've had this much time on your own to just be with you, or to be with those individuals that are close to you, that you live with, whether they're roommates or family members? Thank you for hopping on here on Facebook. I'm so very grateful. And so it's like, we are confronted with ourselves. We get to really know who we are at this time. And can we maintain those disciplines that help fortify and nourish that light body aspect that we are, so that we can work the light? And really, we're not working the light. The light works through us. Yet again, the creating of the correct conditions of the mind, of the body, of the emotions with spirit is that which creates the correct conduit that we are to give rise to that. So let's see. So many narratives. Yes, right? Deandra's saying, Dolores Cannon says, on of our main job is to get rid of fear. Hey, Kenny Six, blessings. Self-time, self-love. Yes. Dolores Cannon. Yes, absolutely. And that speaks to, again, that root chakra aspect, that there's so many hidden aspects. And now I spoke on this a few weeks ago, but that the Akashik records, the memory holder that sustains and gives rise to the grid matrix of that which we experience as our third dimensional life, as our third dimensional reality, that the ley lines, and I'll do a full show on this in the next couple weeks perhaps, but that the ley lines, the set points that have kept the structure of that Akashic running certain memories, because that's all the Akashic records is it is a library of all of our memories, past, present, and the memories that are created from those past, present variables in the future, if you will. So wrap your head around that. If that's new, it's like, what? But all it is it is set points rooted from the past, created from the past, and all we have been doing is running from those past memories, especially where there's aspects of fear, where there's aspects of unresolved emotional, mental addictions, whatever all those patterns are. And so now here we are. We get to sit with ourselves, and whether you meditate or not, whether you think of yourself as a light worker or not, we are all light. We are all that light. And so we get to really have this reality check with ourselves, and check in and feel okay, it's almost like an enforced meditation, if you will, where when you're silent, when you're alone, when you're quiet, those things that seem a little louder, those aspects that are unresolved, that are on repeat in our minds. And for many people, when they begin sitting in meditation, that's all there is. You close your eyes, you breathe, you sit, whatever your practice is, and then it's the mind chatter that we get to sort of be in observation with, and just sit and listen and observe, and whatever your practice is from there, to do with that information what you will. Yet because of our current circumstance, we are confronted with inner thoughts, with these inner parts of ourselves that are just as a constant with us now. And so, are we listening? Are we paying attention? Is there something? Can you make that phone call to that person and tell them you love them, and or ask for forgiveness? Like, this is almost like we're entering into a realm of, and I don't know enough to fully speak on it, but I know offerings and dear friends that are with these sort of 12-step aspects and practices of, like, it's time to do this work, if we would have it, to get down into the nitty gritty of the self. Because who are you? I mean, we could all, it could, all of this could just disappear in an hour. This could all just disappear in a minute. This could all just be gone. Oh, oh, okay. Hold that thought, 40 Finding Arts. I will come back to you. So it's the God phone. Hello. Hey, dear God. Yes. Oh, that's interesting. I would love to do that. Okay. Okay. God is saying, in order to have the experience of the miracle, one's vision must be full light. And simply choose it, and it is so, though it may be an ongoing choice one has to make. Okay. Thank you for that. Blessings. You want me to read a little bit? Okay. Namaste. God says hi. Blessings, dear God. Okay. Interesting. God wants me to read now, and honestly, I haven't dipped into this book in forever. Thank you for all the love and for being here, family. Again, if you have anything to contribute, and I'll get back to you, 40 Finding Arts, here in a moment, write it in the comments. If you have a question, if you are getting downloads about, oh, the live video on Instagram ended, that's very, very interesting. If you have downloads or information about what is going on, pardon me 1 second. Whoa. Okay. Wow. So that was interesting. I have no idea what happened, Instagram family, but but it just ended. The live just ended. So here we are again, and I pray you can come back and join. So let's see. So anyway, this is a book that I was given by a dear yoga student many years ago, Allison, and it's 365 Days of Angel Prayers. So let's see what even is today. Today is April 2nd. Okay, thanks for hopping back on, everyone. I have no, and I'm so sorry, 40. I didn't see your question before it went offline. It just died. So I don't know what that was about, but I'm so sorry. If you want to resubmit your most recent offering, I would be grateful, and I will read it right after this. So I'm going to read here. The God Phone was inspiring to read from April 2nd from this dear book, 365 Days of Angel Prayers. So let's see. To the Angel of Light. Isn't that interesting? And I swear I have not opened this book in quite a while. I had no idea. I have searched for you throughout my life, for comfort, for peace, for love and joy. I have looked for your smile in every face, for your grace and compassion, in mother's eyes, in children's laughter, in flowers' bloom, in sunset colors and rainbows light, in the snow-capped mountains and rivers wild. I have searched for your wisdom in endless words, in the beauty of art and music. Was one with all of life, and there you were beside me. We had never been apart. That's beautiful. So what I feel is that it speaks to this aspect of, oh, thank you for hopping on YouTube. It speaks to this aspect that, I do a lot of work with private clients, spiritual counseling, and a lot of it is like the first half hour is just the talk, the counsel, the listening, and then the second half hour is like a guided meditation, and always, for the most part, there's this connecting with higher self as we get en route and on road with the guided meditation, and I want to just offer you something, that your higher self, when you connect with your higher self embodies all of your totem animals. It embodies all of your angels, like all of them. You can think of all of those aspects as separated and sort of surrounding you and holding space for you. You can also consider that they are all rolled into that one higher self being that is continually connected to the light, that is continually connecting us to the light. Again, though, we get to choose the light in order to have that light sight, that vision, and that is the third eye and the heart center activated. So 40 Fighting Arts, thank you so much for hopping back on. What is a simple exercise or action for beginners to do to calm their minds and retime themselves? Ooh, I like that. Retime themselves. Retune. Okay, retune, especially in a fear-driven environment. You know what I find is, for me, I mean, there's so many, but I find that being in nature is this number one aspect. And if you cannot get out into nature, and it means like no phone, no nothing, just being still and silent in nature. And I feel that there is like such a powerful grounding, such a powerful reset of energy that allows for our vision and our awareness and all of our senses to expand, to include the light, to include all of the aspects of ourselves that are multidimensional by nature, to be activated and elevated and attuned with the heart of the earth, in tune with the solar logos, with the Christ consciousness that is within the sun and beyond the sun. And even on days where the sun is a little cloudy, it's still there. And so if it's opening your window and you know there's a certain part of the day where the sun is going to go out, right? If you don't have a balcony, if you don't have a patio, if you can't go outside, is there a window where that sun shines in that you can pull the curtains open and sit and consciously connect and consciously bring that prana, that life force of that solar logos, of that Christ consciousness, that consciousness which we have here in the matrix of this world that we live in, yet that is embodying and folding and ever giving that divine nowness, if you will. Whoa, again, the live video on Instagram just died. This is bizarre to me. This is so bizarre. It is what it is. Wow. Wow. I don't know why that is happening on Instagram. I really don't know. You know, this is interesting though. Let's just take a moment, because last week's show on the LightWorkers special for the spiritual tools, right? For empaths and sensitives. If you watched that show last week we had tremendous stuff happen where thank you for coming back on. We had tremendous stuff happening last week's show. If you remember, everything went offline. The phones fell off their stands. There was all sorts of disruptions. And I'm telling you, there's a part of me that senses this very strong and profound aspect that when we put our energy together as conscious light beings, when we connect the dots, even in a little session like this of just putting our hearts and our consciousness and connecting those dots together in conversation, in sharing of consideration of the light and of embodying, right, those higher frequencies, like things get glitchy. And I don't need to affirm that. I'll put that in a bubble of light, but things seem to get activated or deactivated in such a way. And this just speaks to this immense amount of power that we have individually and collectively to create and hold space for greater love and greater light. And just allowing that greater force of love and light into our bodies, into our minds, through our voices, through our vision, that is what will help heal us. That is what will help create the correct conditions for the continuing peace. So there might be, I know there's someone that's made an offer. Okay, Deandra's, excuse me, Deandra was on Instagram, but it kept going down, so she's here on YouTube. Thank you for joining. It's practice for the divine shut-in. Atom. Thank you for your offering. He's saying it's practice for the divine shut-in. You know, and isn't it interesting, because there's only you, right? There's only you. And yet, as I know Venus in the First was saying earlier this week, it's that Beatles song, I am, you are, we are all together. And everything is interconnected. Everything is interconnected. And the light is the foundation of all that is. If you would have it, love and light is the foundation, is the founding principle of all that rests on top of it in this matrix of collective consciousness, in this matrix of information. And so are we, again, connecting with that? Are we ready and willing to receive that? So let me share this little story with you. So what happened last week, I was outside and I felt this drop of water on the top of my head. It felt like a drop of water. And I was like, what? And now, honestly, I was smoking my evening sagerette, and I was going, what? And I felt it, and it felt a little emollient, like it didn't even feel like water. And I look up and there's nothing. There's nothing. No clouds, no nothing. And I'm going like, what? This is a trip. And I'm kind of touching it. And then higher self comes in and says, okay, put down your sagerette. So I put down the sagerette, uncrossed my legs, and higher self had me rub it into my crown in a clockwise fashion 3 times. And I was like, okay, all right, whatever this is, what's going on? And then so here I am back having my sagerette, smoking, and just outside, just enjoying the evening. And then, oh wow, the live died again on Instagram. That is a freaking trip. Okay, here we go. We're going to go back in. We're going to go back in. Amazingness. And what I got then after that, a few minutes after that, was this intense and incredible crackling of this life force energy at the crown, that it was just so riveted. It felt like an electromagnetic mini storm above my crown chakra. And it was in that moment that I got, oh shit, this is a divine galactic activation. There is this divine galactic activation that is happening for those that are ready to receive it. For those, thank you for coming back on 4D Fighting Arts. I was just saying that there is this divine galactic activation. Are you getting that? Is anyone else getting that? You know, we're so distracted with, and believe me, I love, I crack up at all these memes about toilet paper and all this, the 3D, the funny parts of it that we can, make light of and have a good laugh at, and laugh at ourselves and whatever all that is. Yet beyond, again, the media and beyond the memes, right? There is a fierce activation happening. And I'm proposing that you either continue to create the correct conditions on a daily basis to simply be open to receive the levels of that, the frequencies of that are appropriate for you, or otherwise, or not, right? So for the Lightworker community, can you discipline yourself to make that conscious contact with love, with light, with source, with whatever name you give that energy, to continue to create the correct conditions for you to be attuned galactically, for you to be attuned universally? So it's almost like a Reiki attunement, but it's for anyone. It's for all of us that would have the vehicle be prepared and ready to receive it. Are you ready to receive it? To what degree? And to what degree are you ready to receive it? And here's the thing, because receiving that love, receiving that galactic attunement is going to cause a deepening of the purge of those hidden, unhealed aspects in the root chakra, right? And we talked before, the root and the second chakra are seeking to be purged. They're seeking to be healed in correspondence with the activation of this crown chakra. We are being crowned. We are the ones creating this new matrix, if you will. We are creating it as we go. We're making it up as we go. And and it's almost like the safety net, where this new matrix is only letting in that which is rooted in those higher frequencies, so that what is being woven, this new tapestry we're weaving together, what is being woven is of that higher frequency of love and of light. Now, there's the conversation between the 3D and the 5D, and I'm telling you, if you watch me, if you follow that, what my guidance is to speak and to preach on the 4D. So let's talk about this for a moment, because this is a trip to me. So remember law of attraction, right? And law of attraction, of just like, you can, with your mind and your emotions, you can think it and you can, create it and speak it. And that was so powerful for the community to come into awareness of like, oh shit, I create my reality. All the thoughts that I think and the energy that I'm co-creating and conjuring this stuff all the time. And that was so powerful for us to get as a collective. Yet, my book, How to Manifest with the Law of Vibration, speaks to, oh my gosh, wow. The live ended on Instagram again. Interesting. It speaks to this aspect of letting us be mindful, letting us be mindful of what we are creating simply through our minds and simply through our emotions. And are those truths, are those aspects aligned with the heart? When they are in sync with what is true in the heart, that is when that manifestation, that which comes into being, is ordained with that highest light, is ordained with the Most High. And and have we learned, though, to hop skip into law of attraction and to just make what it is we think we would have, what it is we think would make us happy? And what I'm getting is that this hop skip of just very little conversation, if any, about 4D. 4D, as I teach it, is heaven on earth realization. It is the frequency of the Christ consciousness. It is the heart chakra. And like I said before, if we're just hopping and skipping from this third dimensional matrix into some land where the third eye is open and we're in these higher frequencies, without going through the heart, without healing and doing the fucking work in the heart. What is 5D? If you have not gone, and if you don't know how to hang out in your heart space, if you don't know how to be cool with those high frequency love vibrations, then what is 5D? So again, and this is maybe a show I'll expand on, because I've been getting this in my meditations, where this is just so much conversation about, like, we're going to 5D, we're going to 5D. And even if we are going there, I know what my part to play in it is to remind us to speak to those aspects that are, let us go through the heart, like law of attraction. Let us learn law of attraction. Absolutely. Let us learn what is 5D. And also, may we learn how to manifest, how to co-create with spirit, with divine, with source, from the heart. And not just that merely with the mind and the emotions. The heart is that which is the absolute truth. And again, when heart is connected with your mind and your emotional truths, then bam, that's powerful, that's beautiful, that's authentic. Yet there is this sense that we can just have whatever we want. There is this sense that your emotions and your mind can create your reality. And it is true. There's a certain level of in the community that I've shared with, that even though they can manifest and create in that way with law of attraction, it's not that nourishing, fortifying, fulfilling manifestation. MANA, mana, like manna from God, manna from the heavens. Thank you for hopping on over at YouTube, 4D Fighting Arts. I know this Instagram Live, and thank you if you're still hanging out on Instagram Live. This is like the fourth time or something that it went down. So thank you for being here. I'm so very grateful. But so it's this interesting thing where it's like this rush, right? This rush to get to this 4D, or pardon me, to this 5D. And it's almost like, and I say this with respect, and I say this with respect because 5D is not my land. And I mean that in that it is not my, I don't get downloads about it. I don't get, it's not the platform that the 4D. Oh, here we go. Instagram died again. Blessings. Thank you for hopping on, everyone, on Facebook. Yet again, it is that journey through the heart that will sustain us, that is rooted in truth, and that connects us to the truth of all things, of all beings everywhere. So I'm going to, again, delete this Instagram and we'll try it again. We'll go in live. It is so bizarre how it just continues to drop here this morning. It is what it is. So this aspect, right, of allowing ourselves to consciously go through the heart, allowing ourselves to be present with that truth in the heart. And that is the alchemy. Any old school alchemists, when you read about alchemy, they know the truth is the healing of thyself. Really, the greatest alchemy is to know thyself. And this is it. Here we are. Here we are in our homes, right? Wherever you are, because I know we all have different circumstances currently that we're operating in. But here we are, confronted with ourselves, And it's like, what is your truth now? And I know for a lot of us light workers, and please speak in, chime in if you have more to share with this. I appreciate that this can be a conversation today. You know, um, and I understand, because for me, for these past couple weeks, it's been like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't know. It's just been this kind of a holding pattern, you know? Yet when you get the blip, when you get the divine insight, when you get that divine awareness of what it is to do, even if it is a breadcrumb on the breadcrumb trail, to hop on it, to activate it, to align with it, so that you can be in alignment with that divine source. Thank you for hopping on Instagram. This is the fifth time, pure chaos. This is the fifth time that Instagram Live went down. So thank you for hopping on. Okay, Charles says on Facebook, springtime is a great time to get out and go camping. I just spent 3 days in the woods in a tent, and we had a nice mushroom. Let's see more. It's not letting me see more. You had a nice mushroom. I'm gonna imagine you're saying experience. Wait, that's not right. I don't know what I've just done here. Look at this. We need to go back. We need to go back. Okay, pardon me. This is obviously a very interesting. This is just so interesting. I guess, thank you for being here. Broadcast fails. Sometimes something went wrong during broadcast. Here okay. We go. Instagram Live. Oh, thank you. So this is, okay, you two, you're in a holding pattern. Thank you, Tammy, for hopping on. So this is just so bizarre. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, Facebook family. So now Facebook. Now, granted, I was attempting to read your comment, Charles, but now Facebook went down. And again, this is so interesting, because this is what happened last week. Maybe, like you were saying, Dee, maybe there's more people online and doing lives, and it's causing things to crash. You know, is it an aspect of our coming together as well, and the interweaving of our consciousness, the interweaving of our considerations? Oh, there it goes. There it goes. There it goes. Instagram Live died again. This is a trip. This is a trip. Whoa. Okay. So as well, thank you, April, for hopping back on. I'm really grateful. So Charles, if you're out there somewhere and you want to, if you want to hop on here, because we have some time left until 12, but I'm aware that we can do some kind of a split screen. But anyway, if you want to share what your downloads were, Charles, with regard to the mushroom ceremony, is what I feel you're going to say. But yes, there's this holding pattern. And it's almost like, and I spoke about this again, if you appreciate the information that I share over these last weeks, beginning with the metaphysics of fear and the coronavirus is one of the shows, and then the spiritual tools for empaths and sensitives, where we actually go through some metaphysical energy tools you might enjoy. Those are all on my YouTube channel, and the meditation to heal grievances in that root chakra. So yes, holding pattern. So at one point, what I was getting is this aspect that speaks to that there is no future, Deandra, that there is no knowing. There is no future as such. There's nothing to know except thyself, except the now, and to come into the self, to come into the now, and to continue creating the correct conditions for the knowing of who you are in the now, to guide you and show you in every step of the way. And there is this sense where there's nothing to do. We are learning, we are reclaiming our ability to be. And this is so very powerful. We are reclaiming our ability to be. to be still, to be, for some of us, alone, to be in time and out of time, to be present with all the feelings and the emotions and the aspects that may be coming up at this time. Blessings. If that is Charles, there you are. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. So, Charles, thank you so much. Again, something happened here on the Facebook. Um, and I saw that you went camping and that you had some mushrooms. So, did you get any insights on your mushroom? I'm assuming it was a ceremony, but did you get any downloads that you want to share with the community? I'm sure we'd be grateful to hear. So, okay. So again, thank you. If you're hopping on Instagram, this is probably the 5th or 6th time that the live stream went down. So we're also on Facebook and on YouTube. If you would like to join, And again, what I'll just share is that on Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 2 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be on intuitivelife.spirits channel. We're going to be having a conversation, a little interview time, sharing. I'm not exactly sure exactly just what yet, but she's an amazing facilitator, a Holy Fire Reiki master, and that will be this Sunday, April 5th. Next Thursday on this show, on this live stream, I will have a special guest. I've never done this before. We're going to do the split screen thing, the organized earth, right? Dave is going to be talking about orgone. Now, have you seen these beautiful little aspects, right? These orgone aspects. There you go. And Instagram live diet. What can you do? You just have to go with the flow. You just have to go with the flow. It is what it is. Well, he is a creator of orgone and orgonite products that are really phenomenal. And I wanted to read to you a little bit about this. So just so that you know, next Thursday, God willing, 11 a.m., we are going to have Dave on the show. And there are conversations that are happening that we're going to have a blackout, that the internet, the Wi-Fi, the phones are going to go down for a period of time. So, do what you need to do to be prepared for that. And if that happens, then we're going to really be in a time of getting to know ourselves, of getting to know who we are. So pardon me just 1 second here. This is really phenomenal. All of these deletes on, this is probably, anyway, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Okay, so what I did want to do is I wanted to read to you a little bit of some information that I got about orgone and orgonite, because again, all I know is that since I've purchased this, I sleep with it by the bed, and a neighbor some time ago had given me a piece of orgonite that I placed by all the Wi-Fi gear, and I actually have an orgone necklace that I wear to sleep. And so let me read you a little bit about this, because I am in no way a professional when it comes to this. Orgone energy is similar to what the ancients have called prana, chi, or universal energy. Orgone is created by layering organic and inorganic materials that are able to harness this vital life force energy and amplify it so you can actually feel a sensation with it. Now, some people are sensitive. They feel, oh, thank you for hopping on here on Instagram. I'm going to just tell you that for 7 or 8 times Instagram Live has died. So thank you for hopping on. We are on Facebook and also on YouTube as well. Orgonite, a substance which functions as a self-driven, continually operating, highly efficient energy transmutation device. Now, according to this blog, it says that it draws in negative life energy and transmutes it into positive energy. It has become very popular as a spiritual healing tool and as a protection against EMFs. And that's what we're really going to talk about. Different things with Dave next week on the show at 11 o'clock, next 4D Trinity, is, this understanding what orgone is, how we can access it, use it to sustain the higher frequencies of life force in our sacred spaces, and also a little bit about 5G. And there are an unleashing of new levels of radiation on this planet that our bodies have not known before. And there's some, there's conversation about the 5G and the coronavirus and these interconnections of both of these aspects. And so he's more of a I want to say a professional. He's the man, who knows about this stuff. So I'm very excited to have him on the show next week. And you have one on your altar, Nikki. Awesome. You need to get some of that. Yeah. He's got a website. You're working. I'm going to wear it with me at work. Yeah, they're installing the 5G everywhere, as we know. And again, I rarely use this platform to speak about those sort of 3D aspects, but because the grid matrix is being purged, and this new truth, which is really just the truth, the sustaining of the light of the love that is the truth of us, is being emblazoned, and space is being made for those parts of ourselves, for the truth to shine, to simply be. But there is a narrative that speaks to this 5G being so such a negative frequency to our energy, to our bodies, to our beings, that it can cause us harm, that it can cause us unnecessary exposure to radiation on a level that, again, our planet has never known before. And there it goes, Instagram Live. There were a few people already hopping on again, and there it goes. It is what it is. So again, orgonites, I'm not exactly sure how they work. He's going to break it down for us, but I know there's resin, there's crystals, and there's metals. There's brass, or there's silver, there's gold in them, and they create, there's 2 little brass rings in there, resin, and then there's some rose quartz crystal in there, if you can see it. And they create orgone. They create life force energy, right? The idea is that, but that this creates a continual piezoelectricity effect that creates almost like this, that energy that, like, you can't turn it off, right? You'd have to smash it. You'd have to break it and take it apart in order to turn it off. Once this thing is made, it's made and it's on. And its job is to continually send out this life force energy, this prana, this life force. Now, and I know in one thing I read that it said, she was saying that it takes away negative energy. Now, I'm not sure about that, but what I am aware of is that it propagates greater life force energy in any environment. And so I know for me, I wear that necklace right over the thymus, right? It hangs right here. And that's when I go to sleep. We can also be invited to turn off all the Wi-Fi stuff when we go to sleep at night. You don't need to have those frequencies blazing through the house all night long. And be mindful, if you are, especially if you're sensitive. I mean, this just goes across the board, but especially if you are a sensitive person, sensitive to those frequencies, it can cause all sorts of issues, from headaches and vomiting and dizziness and all sorts of random weird stuff with all of these smart meters and this smart technology that's being introduced to us. And if you are uber sensitive, that this is something to consider, to investigating, to purchasing, to having in your environment at home, and being mindful of where you set up. I remember being at a friend's house, and the desk was the Wi-Fi monitor, and the thing was right in range with her crown chakra at her desk. And I was like, and she's a very sensitive person and complains about headaches and this and that. And when I went over to her place, I was like, oh, well, and because I don't know what your truth is, I'm not going to be a person who's going to tell someone, you have to do this, you need to do that. But I did offer to her some insight and some information, and said, maybe you want to see, about getting some orgonite, but also maybe you want to just like move that router the fuck away from your desk. Like it's boom, 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 just this pummeling of radiation. So again, no matter where you are in the world, you can see this stuff. If you're staying in a hotel or at a hostel, if you go outside, you look around the building, you can see where they've set up the proponents for Wi-Fi transmission, and you can request to not, be in the room where all that gear is set up. You can request to be on the other side of the campground or in the whatever. But it's a very interesting conversation, and I look forward to learning more with Dave next week. So please join next Thursday. I know we're having some issues here, and we did last week as well. So thank you for being here again today and for contributing to the conversation. And, what we're getting in total is that this is about us not being afraid of the light, not being afraid, despite the narrative that's happening in the world and on the news that is just convincing us to be afraid for our lives. There it goes again. Instagram's gone. To be afraid, to be afraid. All the news feeds and everything that would convince us that we are merely this physical body. We get to, through our practices, remember that we are more than just this body. This body, some people call it the avatar, right? That we just inhabit while we're here in the world, in this 3D land, in this matrix. We are so much more than that. And so doing like a disciple in a very disciplined fashion, doing what you would do to pray, to create, to make an altar, to call in your angels every day, to whatever it is for you on a day-to-day basis, to again, to be that channel, that conduit, so that the light can work through you, right? We're not forcing a will. And really here, this is amazing thing for the light workers, because we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. There is no future. The past is gone. We get to grieve for that past. We know on a sub level, we know collectively that life is never going to be the same again on this planet. We know that. And I think that's what's freaking us out too, right? And I won't speak for you, but there is a sense of that in the different levels of communities where people are, even those people that don't meditate or that don't claim to do light work or anything like that, there's this sense where people are going, oh shit, this is like forever. Like we know that there's something is happening that is much bigger, that is much, much bigger than where we're at right now. That is much bigger, let's say, than the main story and narrative that the media would have us know and repeat and think about. And because really, when we ingest the media, when we ingest the information that is coming at us, like I remember for a month or two ago, talking to various different people when this was just beginning, before the shelter in place and all this stuff, when this stuff was just beginning. And every single person I talked to, it was like I had spent time at my grandma's listening to the news, and I came back and every single person was like reciting the exact same things that they heard on the news. And I was like, do you have any other thoughts about it? Do you have any other things to contribute about it? Do you, how do you feel about this beyond the narrative that's on the media? And there are so many different layers to it, yet there was then another media story and another media story. And I'm like, but have you sat with you? Have you sat with you in essence and really quested, like, what's happening now? What does this mean to me on a deeper level? How do I feel about this? Oh, I see 4D Fighting Arts offered something here on YouTube. I'm going to read that in a second. And that's really, really, really important, because if we just take the media's narrative, especially the mainstream media's narrative, and regurgitate it to ourselves and to each other, we are in effect creating that as a reality collectively. We are co-creating that. And that again is just spinning the same stories of the grid matrix of this third dimensional reality. And the world can be a beautiful place. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with 3D. If your heart is open, right? You've healed enough of your trauma. This world turns into the earth. Heaven on earth is what I preach, is fourth dimensional consciousness. And it's our ability to be in tune, to be in sync, to synchronize with the love and the light that is already here, that we already are, to go beyond the body, to create a new narrative that sustains that love and that light. So we are not trying to force or write We're not trying to write the new story. The new story happens through us, by us simply being and embodying the truth that we are. And whatever that truth is, what I will share with you, we all hold our own, but what I will share with you is that it's rooted in love and it's rooted in light, and that it is much more powerful than the world would have you know. So 4D Fighting Arts, things are changing for sure. The light always breaks through the darkness, though. We just got to keep shining. Absolutely. I also recommend limiting your exposure to the media. I've had to tell my girlfriend to stop talking about what she sees on the news. LOL. It's important to be aware, but not inundated. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. You know, and just in ending today, because I think we're about at the 12 o'clock mark, and we'll end with just a little prayer. But just in closing, there's a saying, you know, and sometimes we get stuck in this third dimensional realm, asking the universe questions, and we can get stuck asking questions like, what's the worst thing that can happen? Do you really want that answered through the universe? You know, so what I'm going to offer you, whenever you feel yourself at that crossroads of like, oh shit, oh fuck, if even if it's your own stuff coming up, if it's your own fear, if it's, you know, just something you do see on the news or the media, or some conspiracy theory or some whatever, and you feel yourself, you know, being rattled a bit, or taken off your center, what's the best thing that can happen? You know, even in light of this whole global pandemic situation, what's the best thing that can happen? And it's not necessarily for us to speak or to know. Maybe you'll get a download, but it's just to simply quest that, offering that question out into the universe, and allow the universe then to bring back all the aspects that are in alignment with what that best thing happening can be. Blessings. Thank you everyone for coming on. I'm so very grateful. We are going to wrap up here. So again, this Sunday on Instagram Live, I will be with intuitivespirit.life. We're going to be having a little interview, a little hangout session on her channel this Sunday, April 5th, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard, 2 p.m. Eastern. And next Thursday here, Instagram Live, God help us, but for sure it seems like Facebook and YouTube, all of the platforms, I'm going to be interviewing Dave from The Organized Earth. I will be posting about that, so keep an eye out. There's just, oh, Tammy, I feel rooted with the gift to rise up in love. I'm not allowing things that are not of truth and love to affect me, us. Yes. Yes. Thank you for saying that. You know, it's so powerful. It's so powerful. Okay, and now Atom is calling. Hi. I'm on Facebook Live right now. You're hilarious. Do you have something you want to share? I was just going to wrap up here. Can I put you on speaker? Okay. All right. So let's do this. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I really appreciate what you were sharing, and it seems like it's important for people to be out of the fear stream that's consistently and constantly everywhere. And we were talking recently about building up the immunities, and just the simple act of playing with plants, interacting with food is a great, I call it a healthy distraction away from the 3D matrix.
You know, I appreciate that. Yes, the immunity. And I would love to have you come on. I know I realized I recently just found out that I can do a split screen. We can do it on the Facebook Live. And I would love to have you come on one of the shows and talk about immunity, if you would, at some point, because this is such a big part of this. There's the energetic immunity, but then there's the everyday third dimensional. What are we putting into our bodies? Herbs, food, etc. And I know that's a part of your domain. So I'd love that if you would sometime.
Yes, I'd be honored. And there's this saying in alchemy, that from above and so below. So when we talk about the physical aspect of, you know, putting stuff in a blender or picking some plants or planting some seeds, those are all energetically soothing for the soul. And again, it helps distract us from this constant obsessive, thing where we want to know, but I think we've known enough. And we need to know that it's like there's no special extra boogie monster. It's like these are all normal things that have been really hyped for seemingly a bigger reason. Otherwise, for instance, I just came from Home Depot because I'm building a garden right now, and there's people all around, but like now we can't go to the parks and to like play tennis at the park, into the mountains, into the gym, which realistically those are all immune boosting activities. So we generally have to say, okay, take a step back and let's look at the patterns going on here. This is not about what they're saying it's about. It's about control and about really, I think it's a great test for us to take this opportunity to say, where am I at in my practice, in my soul, in my family, in my breath?
Yeah, I agree. And I would love to talk to you about all of these aspects sooner than later. That would be really, really amazing. Thank you for
Awesome.
calling.
Yeah, thanks for that commercial break. I appreciate it. I appreciate your people and the people that care.
Blessings. All right. Well, I'll talk to you later at home.
Okay. Take care, man.
Thank you. Bye. Okay. Interesting. Amazing, Grace. So let's see if there's any closing offerings, and then we will wrap up. Hey, blessings. Spill the pearl. Frank. Hey, Rachel. So thank you for hopping on. If you just hopped on, there's part 1 of this on my feed on Facebook, and this again will be here on YouTube. But there were several incidents where the Instagram live continued to go down, and I think at one point, yes, the Facebook went down as well, but we rehabbed it. So thank you everyone for being here and for your contribution. And it is so very important, that if all we do here is just love ourselves and practice that self-love, that is the way to knowing thyself. And to know thyself is to now thyself. And the now is where it all is happening. The now is where the frequency of love is at its utmost high, because it is always. It is always. And when we get concerned with the past and we start to project that past into the future, then we become bound into those aspects that are fragmented of ourselves, out of our power, out of the now moment, where the truth, where the love, where the peace resides. And so again, those aspects, those things you can do for yourself to keep you rooted in the now, to keep you rooted in your peace, are so very vital. And it's the little things. It's the little things that add up. So let's go ahead and end. So again, thank you for Defining Arts, for your offerings, for everyone who has contributed today and just been here in the community. I'm so very grateful. So let's just take a moment to close the eyes, and we'll take a breath. And drop into your heart space. Just imagine you going right into the center of your chest, into the heart chakra. And bring your awareness to all those people that you know, your family. And imagine the light of their heart lit. And connect from your heart, like a little connect the dots coloring book. Just connect from your heart, the light of your heart, to the light of their hearts. And just let that line of connection go wherever it goes, all over the world. Your town, your city, wherever you are, to all of those people, those family members you love, and expand it out to your friends. And let that line of energy just continue connecting from your dot of light in your heart to all your friends all over the world. And then see those dots of light, that beautiful pattern, that geometry that you're creating through drawing this line of light from your heart to all other hearts that you know, that you love, connecting through the hearts of all of nature, connecting to the hearts of all beings, all people here on this planet. And then see that light. See and notice how bright that beautiful light is. And then see that light begin to come back to you and to your heart. And feel yourself plugged in now to the heart of the all, to the heart that is the now, that roots and grounds the truth in peace and in love. And stay attuned to the ways you may be guided to facilitate kindness towards yourself, towards others. And know thyself. And know that you are love and that love is the truth. And so it is. And so it is. So again, thank you everyone so much. I am Tuesday May Thomas. This is my weekly live stream 4D Trinity, where we bridge mind, body, and emotions with that true blueprint of self that is unfuckable with. That is your light body. That is your truth as spirit. That is always healthy. That is always whole. And so may we align with that for the highest good of all. So thank you again, everyone. Blessings with so much love. So much love. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Now, if I can figure out, there we go. Blessings. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, Facebook family. So now Facebook. Now, granted, I was attempting to read your comment, Charles, but now Facebook went down. And again, this is so interesting. Okay. Oh, we're still up on YouTube. Blessings. Blessings.